kind of made sense to me immediately. So I was like, yeah, they'd probably find the psychopathic person to be interesting. As far as like when they get really crazy, I mean, like, you might get like a Mother Teresa situation where she doesn't necessarily seem all that crazy, but it's like, like way back in the day, would just like make rounds to different dictators and be like, can we get some support or something like that? Just sort of ignoring the whole fact that like, there's dictatorship going on. I don't know. I feel like basically what I'm trying to say is I feel like INFJ, when they're sort of gone to the dark side, not necessarily like a cackling mastermind staring at a globe and petting a cat. You're not necessarily going to get that individual, but you probably get somebody who is very strangely comfortable with amorality. Somebody who has sort of developed or cultivated their own idea of how things should be, so that when people are like, that's wrong, it's like, maybe, but that might just be your personal opinion,
So they could actually kind of resemble an ESTP, maybe, because I know that whenever they're stressed, they're supposed to like resemble that because of like SE and the functions, I guess.
My dark side is Donald Trump.
What does it
yeah.
You said ESTP. That's what he is.
Yeah. So like when you see Donald Trump, do you like cringe or do you feel like, yeah?
Well, I mean, I kind of cringe. I mean, like another example of an ESTP, I think Ayn Rand is an ESTP.
I thought she was an INTJ.
I had heard ESTP. Maybe I'm wrong.
I've heard so much shit of this.
Yeah, I've heard so much different stuff too, but ESTP. Yeah, I guess sort of stick with what I was talking about. I'm trying to come up with something a bit more concise, but I guess it would depend on the situation.
Because you kind of remind me of somebody who, like, I'm a relative to, but I don't know. It's like I've tried for so long to understand them or where they're coming from, but it's like, it's just been difficult and they've been corrupted. So they've been like, it's like they do have a heart in there deep down. And it's like, they really care, but it's like, trying to get to it is just so difficult because it's like, I don't know. It's hard to explain. It's like, I want to understand them.
Yeah. I kind of feel like it takes a strange mind to have duality with FI polar. So, like
Why?
ESTP or ENTP. Well, because, I mean, they're not the most feely group.
No, they're not. However,
Audra comes on for a second to be like,
they're feely as fuck. I don't know what to do with it.
I don't know. It's more personal, so I can't speak to exactly what's going on with them. But for me, I feel like I have a particular mix, like with Enneagram and whatnot, so that it's like how sort of my INFJ vibe gets manifested is that I feel more personally comfortable with certain aspects of the macabre. Not all, but certain aspects. I have seen more often INFJs not get super weirded out by things as far as like standards go. Like, I mean, like emotional standards. Like if somebody were to be like, that's wrong, from what I've seen, like the pool of INFJs that I've seen, more than not as a rule, but more than not, they sort of have this tendency of being like, well, let's talk about this, or let's try to figure this out more, rather than, I don't know, I've yet to see even a sizable number of INFJs that are like, I don't know what it is I'm trying to say per se. I feel like I'm out of my depth a little bit right now.
It's okay.
Well, because it gets, for me, it feels like it gets dangerously close to like advocating what is the truth. And I think therein lies the problem, is that is always up for debate.
Oh yeah, for sure. I could definitely relate to that because the truth is something that is not an objective thing. It changes all the time.
Well,
But even that is questionable too. So the whole statement of the
objectivity always exists. At least in my mind, it always exists. Our ability to track it is the thing that's always in question.
Yeah. See, I wanted to make a statement along the lines of, well, the only absolute thing in this world is that nothing is absolute. But that statement in and of itself is not absolute because there are absolutes that exist in the world. So, but even those absolutes in certain situations could not be absolute. So it really just kind of depends on a lot of different things. That's kind of how I see the world.
No, I like that statement. I think ENTPs want to be anti-heroes, but they're actually heroes. I think ESTPs would like to think of themselves as heroes, and they're fucking anti-heroes.
I was going to say, I think we thought we would like to be villains, but we just can't seem to pull that off. So,
Yeah. I think Deadpool was an ENTP. Yeah, he was typed as that. But I never watched it. And the reason I did watch it was because it was mainstream as hell. So it's just fuck this shit.
It was really good for mainstream. It only got mainstream because of how unconventional it was. It's one of those kind of things where they did this visceral humor and it was R-rated for a superhero movie that. So I don't know. It was kind of a unique flower in the sea.
It was a unique flower. I like that kind of metaphor. It was a unique flower. It just reminds me of Flower from Bambi. Remember that?
I haven't seen.
Oh my
I was
god!
pre-cognizant.
It reminds me of okay, so Flower was the little skunk, but he was in the flowers, so he was called Flower. I'm sorry, that's just really adorable the way they portrayed it. I'm sorry. I think skunks are adorable. Okay, I'm sorry. This is Effie shit. F-I shit.
We're talking about archetypes a little bit. Who do you think is most likely to be the hermit archetype or the recluse kind of
ISCJ.
Shamanistic, maybe? INTP, maybe.
INTP strikes me as the most hermetic type.
yeah, I was going to say,
you might want to rephrase that. Hermetic.
Yeah, because are we talking on the nature of Hermes?
Hermes Thermagistus. No. I know what you're
Is there a difference?
A cult shit.
I thought hermetic was an expansion of the word hermit.
No.
I don't know if hermit might be somehow related.
Let's go to Google.
Hermeticism, but I don't think so.
Either way, it applies because I feel like that sort of shit.
Hermetically sealed? No.
There's Hamitic, which is from the biblical ham, is a historical term in ethnology and linguistics for division of the Caucasian race. Hey, you learn something new every day. Hamitic. Okay, so the next time you want to say, I know, but that's what showed up because I looked up Hermitic, HERMITIC, and then it says includes results for Hamitic, and then I got interested by that, and I was just like, what is this? And so it turns out that that's another way for calling somebody white. So the next time you want to call somebody really white or something, but you want to fool them, you could be like, oh, you're so Hamitic, and then they could be like, what did you just say to me? And I'm just like, no, it's a compliment.
Okay, so hermetic. Relating to an ancient occult tradition encompassing alchemy, astrology, and theosophy.
Yes, that is true.
And it gets its namesake from the guy that supposedly founded the philosophy, which was Hermes Thermagistus. No one knows if he's actually real or if there's a group of people or whatever.
Like
my
the
God,
like the artist formerly known as Prince. You know, it's
Yeah,
just sort of
but
like
he's
a-
also associated in some circles as being indistinguishable with the Egyptian god Thoth.
huh.
yes.
That's an interesting connection.
Yeah.
Which ties back into the Illuminati. It does.
Go take a long walk off a short bridge.
Yeah. Carl Jung was definitely very much into it.
Wasn't Carl Jung into all that occultist Satanism stuff?
Conspiracy.
It all is tying back together.
That Myers Briggs things is the work of the devil.
Might be, you know.
They're all Satanists on there.
Your 4-letter code is the mark of the beast.
At least 3 of us in this room statistically have to be in on the conspiracy.
666.
You guys want to see something that's really funny?
That's what they all say, Audra.
This is a radio show for an offshoot of the Temple of Satanism, and they just have this casual show that's called The Voice of Darkness, and they just have just a regular conversation on the radio, but it's just really funny.
Is this,
They're so nonchalant about it. They're just like,
My name is Satan.
The Voice of Darkness.
What is this shit? Oh my god, what the fuck is this shit? Oh my fucking god. They've got Baphomets and shit. What the hell?
Here's the thing. Some of it is just to keep people off of it too. You know what I mean? Like the people that they don't want to.
Oh my
it scares
God.
all the Christians away immediately, right?
I actually
Yeah.
went through a phase where I'd be online looking at that stuff, and I'd be like, "Why is this all just fake?"
We should all fill out applications to join the Temple of Set, and so we can find out what they're really about.
Is that Zephyr?
Zephyr. Or
Kefir.
Kefir, I think is how you pronounce it.
Kefir.
What the hell is this shit? Fucking shit.
You gotta read about it to figure out what they're about. It's actually way more benign than it appears.
I feel like on Chloe's tombstone it should just read, "What the fuck is this shit?" I mean,
Okay, I'm going to read it.
and on the first day of creation, Chloe said, "What the fuck is this shit?" I mean, shit.
I just realized that you're teasing me. That's not an insult.
Wow, that took a minute.
Chloe,
No.
the rule in this place, assume that it's a joke.
Okay, and not take it personally.
You
Yeah.
can take it personally. That'll just add flavor.
Take it personally, but it
Wow.
probably nobody's gonna care.
The only thing that
Got it.
prevents me from submitting an application to this, just to find out more about if they're serious or not, and what it really is that there's a fee for your application. So
Letters of inquiry. Oh my god, I see what you're talking about now. Okay. Zephyr.
Great Patty Hardy. So
What the fuck is this? The Voice of Darkness. Okay, I'm sorry. I think some 14-year-old created this.
The
Yeah.
first thing you have to read is the letter from the High Priestess, obviously.
Wait, I can't find it.
It's on the About page.
Ken, you're one gold earring away from looking like Mr. Clean.
Home. Okay, I'll go to home. Maybe I'll find it. Oh, duh. I was already on the home side. Okay, where is it? Okay, yogic self-transformation. Okay, this is stupid. Guarding oneself in the cosmos. Oh, come. The Gaelic magical runes.
See, another thing is that a lot of the stuff that they're talking about could be completely rephrased in secular terms. It's just that they're using their own language and stuff to, obscure things a little bit.
This is really demonic and shit. Fucking hell.
That's the impression you're supposed to get.
Who just whispered demon? Fucking shit. Oh my god, you're scaring me.
You're
Stop.
shade or Audra.
I'm just showing exposing a heart. I was like, you guys are getting so moist around here. I was like,
Too
You're
moist.
spreading moisture, Audra? Audra is spreading moisture? Is this a first?
this is my picture. It's a heart.
Oh, I see. Kind of.
Is it a
I'm on
heart?
mobile, so
It's a
I
kind of
I can only
heart.
see a part of it, so
See, Neptune and I are on the same page. We're like, nah, this shit's demonic. Fuck.
the heart. Did you draw
What, the
that?
Temple of Set stuff?
No, the heart that like she
Oh.
drew, it looks demonic as
I was gonna
shit.
say the
Or
Temple.
did you Oh, sorry,
I was
go ahead.
gonna say the Temple of Set probably wouldn't bother you guys as much as 09A.
Okay, I can't read. I can't find the letter to whatever
Did
the
you-
fuck.
Did you take a picture of it and then use like a negative filter?
Yeah, I just turned it on negative a while ago. Just so it,
There it is, Chloe.
Thanks.
Ah, what's this?
Thank you. Pub.
here,
From
just,
the high priest. Wait. Okay, I'm gonna read this in like a Morgan Freeman thing. No, wait. I have an idea. I should get like the Google thing to just read this. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna do that just for the balls. I'm not gonna like
What
do
is
it out
this?
loud. This is some bullshit. Wait. Okay.
Here's the link to the full picture if you care. Since you asked to see the rest of it.
Website.
Google Reader. Fuck you.
That was one of those pictures where like
Fuck
me,
you.
like, what I saw in my head, I had a pen, and so I like drew it.
Near. Okay.
I don't understand.
Paste text and it.
Janelle,
Hmm.
I linked you a link to the full sketch if you care.
Oh, I missed it because something happened and I went to room 1 for, I guess, I don't know why.
Doing this for the laws. Okay, here we go. Okay.
It was a thought, and then I had a piece of paper and I actually drew it. Like, it was I always like it when that happens.
Oh, this is interesting.
For whatever reason, I like that.
Which voice should I use? Okay. Normal speed. Okay, we've got female. Let's do Microsoft David desktop. Okay, let's do it.
You're gonna make
Dude, I like
Wait,
the
are you
dead
gonna-
body in the back. That's a nice little touch.
the what?
Like it just like escaped from that body and is like marching off or something.
Oh.
I'm looking at
Yeah.
Audra's picture, sorry.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, it's like a heart that just
This is neat.
crawled
I like it.
out. Fuck. Shit.
I like it, Audra. Seal of creepy approval.
I like,
Dude,
yeah.
Heart attack.
What's it holding? What is that? Is that an art? That's an art. Is that an eyeball? No, that's not an eyeball. It's I don't know. No.
Deeper.
Anyway, I'm kind of Chloe. This is a good example of what an NI dominant community looks like.
What?
Oh shit, I want to see this.
The Temple of Set and like all the writings and everything.
Oh my god. Yeah, I put it into a TTS reader, talk to speech, and like I got it to be like Microsoft David, and it's hilarious.
Is it now?
What is this? I want to click watch together just to piss everybody
No.
off, but I'm not gonna.
I'll let you do it.
I
He
know.
will kick you. He will kick you in the shin.
What is this?
Why do people get so triggered by that? Like, I don't get it.
Well, the channel gets flagged.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's just like
okay.
copyright stuff is the thing that's the main.
Okay, so
No,
it's
you're,
not
you're
a
talking about
trigger.
NI dominant stuff, and I was like, that was kind of why I was just or not. Order of Nine Angles. Obviously, I never got into it in any sort of depth, but it sort of tickled my NI fancy.
Documentation.
Have you guys seen the official Illuminati website?
I don't
There's
fuck with that
that's
stuff.
just an ad revenue like thing.
I don't know. There's like a real thing. Like you can sign up and everything here.
Yeah.
You know what?
Sign up, therefore it's clearly real.
You
There
want
you
to
go.
sign up for the secret society that controls the world? We accept applications from everyone. It's only going to be $50, like or some shit.
It says Illuminati official.
Facebook page and your Twitter, and you must share it at least once on social media in order for us to accept. I just applied for the Illuminati. You can apply too. Blah, 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 whatever.
Illuminati TV commercial?
We appreciate your interest in our organization. Use our official website for details on our members, contact information, how to join our beliefs, messages, and more. Oh, goody! Let's
Yes,
find
the
out
Illuminati member directory. Yes.
your email address and your first name. Join the Illuminati. The Illuminati is an elite organization of world leaders, business authorities, innovators, artists, and other influential members of this planet. Apply for membership. Complete the form below. No membership fees. Donations not accepted. What the fuck is this? About the Illuminati.
Millions of people from all walks of life have committed themselves to Illuminati's global work for the betterment of the human species.
I feel like that voice she's using right now should be the announcement voice, just like the Illuminati.
Yeah.
Yes. Continue, she.
Oh, no. We appreciate your interest in our organization. Use our official website for details on our members, contact information, how to join, our beliefs, messages, and more.
The
I'm
pyramid.
more interested in this TV commercial. Oh my god. I think I found my calling, guys.
But if you join the Temple of Set, you have the option of diversifying and specializing into the order of Beelzebub, the order of Leviathan, the order of
Fuck no. Fuck
the
no.
order of Trapezoid, or the order of the Vampire.
Trapezoids.
No.
I'm a fan of trapezoids.
No. I don't fuck with that stuff.
The Order of
No.
Trapezoid? What the?
It's the Order of the Trapezoid is a chivalric order of knighthood dedicated to the Prince of Darkness and the protection of the Black Flame. Order
Oh
was
my god.
originally introduced by Anton LaVey in the December of 1970 issue of the Church of Satan's newsletter, The Cloven Hoof, where it was described as the board of directors and security staff of the church. The idea of what the order signified morphed at various times, always with a focus on its vital role as a caretaker of the hidden tradition behind the visible tradition exemplified first by the Church of Satan and later by the Temple of Set. The Order of the Trapezoid was finally given a definite form by Dr. Michael Aquino, High Priest of Set, in 1982, and took its place as one of the three oldest still extant orders or areas of specialization under the leadership and teaching of a Grand Master within the Temple of Set.
Zach, how the fuck do you find this shit?
He was a member.
No, I was not a member.
They wouldn't let me in.
No. It's honestly just like spend a lot of time just on the internet and you stumble across all kinds of
If you're on the internet and you have, extroverted intuition anywhere, you don't know where you will end up, but you will end up lots of places.
But essentially, I can translate what was just said there. They're the people that do like the security and they're like the security force for the Temple of Set. That's like what they said just now. That's like all it is. It's like they had to hire security people for their secret society, and that's who they are. But obviously, they make it seem all like, protecting the flame, the Prince of Darkness.
It changed. Oh wait. No. Okay, I see what you mean now. Okay, this is different than this. Okay, they're kind of the same. Okay. Got a little confused. I'm good now.
It's like, whenever I see something that's like mysterious like this, I want to learn everything about it, right? I've spent a fair amount of time reading through the essays and stuff. Like, there's a whole people have written books on this shit, which is interesting to me. But it turns out most of it is stuff that can be completely expressed in secular terms. But there's like a huge NI element to a lot of what they're doing, so it lends itself naturally to like all this like mystical language and all this kind of stuff. And a lot of them do this intentional framing things in terms of Satan and stuff like that, because they want to scare away religious types, because they think that it's just they think that if these Christian types are not going to be willing to explore like alternative frameworks and stuff, so they just try and get rid of them early. They're not like opposed to Christians necessarily. It's just that they try and have them like not enter their community.
Yeah, because some Christians can be like really judgmental, but I don't know.
And maybe there's some people that take it really seriously and they're like, I worship Satan or whatever, but I doubt it. That's like the primary reason. I'm sure there's plenty of people in there that just do it because it's like edgy as fuck, And
Let's get like those dark ambient things that I found. Because I found these dark ambient things that reference a lot of alchemy and stuff, and then people are like really referencing Satan a lot, and it's kind of like, what the hell is this shit?
No. People. So the stuff about alchemy is like, it's not connected at all with like any amount of Satanism, other than the fact that it's like has esoteric traditions. It's not. It is like nothing to do with Satan. It has more to do with like a holistic approach of like understanding nature. So like their concept of God is like all things as like one unified whole, right?
Kind of like Theosophy, because Theosophy argued for the Age of Aquarius, the Age of Aquarius, where everything was supposed to reach a point of unity. So maybe it kind of put it in
times Age of Aquarius. I've seen that like on websites and stuff.
I get what you mean with the NI stuff. What's interesting though is that, or at least I find it interesting, is that I'm far less interested in like some group or whatever telling me what symbols mean.
Right.
Like they're like, this is like this means this particular thing, or
This
like
thing
this symbol.
It has an element of like a religion where they're creating a framework of definitions that you
because like, whatever archetypes or images I have in my head, like subconsciously, I already have a language in place for what that means.
Sure. It's kind of like, it's like a creative constraint, I think, on like what they're trying to pursue, right? That's the sense I got, that it's kind of like we're restricting ourselves to this concept of Set as like a deity and like what he represents and like all these other ideas, and it's because they're just like exploring a framework, and it's like things would be too hard to parse out if you tried to be like totalistic in your approach. So instead, they put these constraints on it and then operate within that to come to realizations about things, I guess.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, it's like I would never find myself ever, wanting to be a part of some, I get excited by like having my NI tickled and stuff, but I definitely wouldn't I'm very anti establishment, anti
yeah, or like all these
organizational
rules.
constraints. Yeah.
It's,
Like you have to do this, you have to do this, you can't do this. It's like fuck that. I don't think intuitives would do well. Well, I think some intuitives would do well in politics, but others, I think when it comes down to it, there are policies and procedures that you have to do, but then others you can kind of bend the rules on. So it's really an interesting thing.
I don't know, I sort of, maybe trust is the wrong word, but in terms of backing horses, a non-affiliated sort of, maybe not non-affiliated, but like an ENTP who's not, actively being controlled by someone, probably a good choice for a politician, I feel like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but how often do you find that?
Not very, and that's probably why we got a lot of problems.
I think ENTPs would be, theoretically, ENTPs could be good politicians, but the thing is, you've got to know the rules before you break the rules, and that's kind of a thing that I feel like ENTPs would definitely resonate with to some extent.
We know the
Because-
rules. That's exactly how it works. You know the rules, so you can break them.
Exactly. I can relate to that too, because it's like I take the time, in a job or whatever, just to read through all the rules, just so I can know how to bend them and twist them to how I like.
Which comes first, breaking the rules and then finding out that they're rules, or knowing the rules then saying fuck it and breaking the rules anyways?
It's more of a matter of finding loopholes within the rules so that you can bend them without necessarily getting in trouble for it. It's hard to explain.
I was gonna say for me, it's like I've always been good about learning the rules of things.
Yeah, same here,
But no,
just so that I can bend
In order
it.
to understand the system in which I am, whatevering.
This is probably more like Enneagram Type 9 produced for me, I would say. But rather than bothering to learn the rules, to learn how I could break them, I feel like I'd learn rules to learn how to not cross them as a boundary. And then when I actually want to expend my energy, assertively or something like that, I'd just go to wherever those rules weren't present. Find a place where those rules aren't present, and then be like, "Oh, okay, I'll try to grow roots over here." It's like I try learning rules to the extent to know how not to step on them. That way, I can just keep doing my own shit.
Right.
But was it Zach? You were making comments about NI and whatnot. That's why I joined one Facebook group that I enjoyed being in, because they do stuff with visual collages, like picture collages and stuff like that, and trying to identify instinctual type and Enneagram. And I thought it was funny because, you were talking about the temple set and the symbology, and that I'd mentioned that people trying to dictate to me what that symbology means.
Right.
That is one instance, with the Enneagram and whatnot, where I don't mind it so much, because it's more just finding correlations among people rather than trying to come up with there's a bit more
spiritual context, that it's because you're pursuing this more totalistic view of truth, so you don't want to have constraints placed on it because you feel like it would be too limiting or something like this.
To me, I feel like true, maybe not true, but more historically authentic cases of spirituality are manifested or observed when manifested, not forced or created.
Okay.
But
I
I
agree. That,
thought it was funny. I'd posted those series of GIFs as like a picture collage or like a GIF collage, and somebody was like, "You are four fixed. You have a 4."
but anyway, like you get the same kind of vibe in like Gnosticism and stuff too, which is like a little bit closer towards traditional like Christianity and stuff.
Yeah.
A lot more than you get out of like I don't know, like mainstream religion. I feel like a lot of mainstream religion doesn't use a lot of NI in practice.
I like to explore it all, so I'm kind of religiously slutty. So, yeah. Because, like, I mean, I don't know. I went through this phase when I was a teenager where I was Wiccan, and I was definite about it. And then scary shit started happening, and then a lot of dark shit happened. And I was like, okay, maybe I should stop this.
Well, because here's the thing about the frame of mind. Whenever you start working with your subconscious and like trying to place images in your subconscious and thinks about those things in those terms, like you can accidentally like really screw up like your sense of perception and stuff if you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Because that's really like the best way to put like what magic is in secular terms. It's like trying to affect your subconscious, and that's dangerous shit right there, but also like really powerful, right? So like powerful in psychology and stuff, and like your sense of perceptions like shape your reality, right? So if you fuck with that machinery too much and you don't know what you're doing, like you can shape your perception of reality into something else inadvertently. So you have to be careful.
What are some examples of that? Like, I kind of want you to go deeper with that.
Like an affirmation or a prayer or something like this. You know, if you do like affirmations in the mirror, something like I am strong, I am powerful, like blah, 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 and do that over and over and over again, and you don't balance it out, right? Someone might end up becoming like really, really, really narcissistic and like arrogant, for example.
Yeah.
Okay, what happens if you're wanting to direct it towards somebody, not yourself, but someone else? How do you explain that?
In like secular terms, I think that if you were going to take like a psychological model here to talk about this, it would be like you're affecting your subconscious, and then it affects the way you relate to that other person. So like all your body language and like quote the vibes you're giving off to them, and then it can affect that.
Well, let's say you're not even like interacting with this person, but
Sure.
You're trying to influence what is happening in their life.
See, it depends like what degrees of influence you actually have, like through like you might not necessarily have to face and interact with somebody in order to be able to influence their life, you know. I don't know, it's tricky because I've never seen any like obviously like no scientific experiment has ever been done where someone was actually able to affect something at a distance in that way. So that's why I'm hesitant to like, you know, from my TI dominant self, like I want to use a psychological model to explain these kind of things. So you have to understand my bias.
Yeah.
The voice of darkness. Damn it, I went back to that. I think
It's
that's
something
a good
kind of
way
what you're talking about. How is it? Zach. I don't know why I forgot your name. Fuck. I did. It is something like what you're talking about, like, you know, somebody standing in the mirror, like repeating that phrase. I did that, only rather than saying that, it's like an affirmation sort of thing. So I mean, basically, that's just like an edgier version of "I'm a good person, I will do well," you know, like those affirmation sort of things. Mine was, I had a mirror in my room, set it up on my dresser, turned the lights off so I could barely make out my silhouette, and then I tried to call out to the unconscious and say, sort of like show me or like make yourself known or something like that, and use that.
See, this is the other thing. Like, there's a huge debate within the like esoteric sort of like spiritual communities about whether or not it's all psychological or if there's something that exists separate. Because people have like really visceral, like they channel like an entity, right? And they have like a conversation in their head with this thing. And people, debate whether or not it's like, well, you've convinced yourself that this archetype or like creature or whatever thing is real, and then but it's like a fragment of your subconscious, and you're communicating with that, and then through the discourse you can come to a sense of like truth by like accessing parts of your subconscious. And then there's people that think that those things actually exist and they're communicating with them, and like all this kind of stuff.
I feel like I've had such a strong like super ego in my life to where like I have like a voice that's going on telling me it's like, well, you're not going to make this, you're not going to make that. Well, what about this? Or just this like questioning sort of thing that's there. That it's like I've had periods of time in my life where it's like I think that I'll be getting an answer back from God. Like when I was a Christian, I would think that I was getting an answer back from God, but then I noticed after a while that it's like, for some weird reason, God and my superego seem to have the same voice, and I didn't quite understand what that was. So it's like, yeah, I imagine I might be fairly immune. Not immune, but not as startled by that as some other people. If I were to, and like
I
I'd
felt
be
like I
more
had the
willing.
exact opposite. Like the whole time I was like in church, grew up in a religious family, I felt like I never heard anything, even though like you were supposed to be able to hear from God or feel his moving or feel the spirit or feel something. And I'm like, I don't feel anything. Like, what's wrong with me?
Yeah. No, I get what you're saying, and that's actually the case that I had. But when I was hearing something, I thought maybe, oh, is this what God's supposed to be? But it's like I was confused.
Oh, yeah.
I assumed that when I was talking to other people that they were like hearing something powerful, and for me, it's like I think I sort of came around to this just sort of feeling that I'm like, are people just hearing their own internal monologue and like not knowing the difference?
Yeah.
But then
I
it's kind of like effectually, what's the difference too? It's like if you're eliciting
Belief, maybe they believe that it's
I mean,
something different.
if you're like eliciting meaning and stuff from this, and it's like either way, right? It's kind of like it only matters in the sense of like what's the connotation associated with it, more so than like what information you come up with, I guess.
Yeah.
Right, because if it is like a discussion with yourself, like why not just treat it like any other like cognitive process? But if it is like some connection with something greater or whatever, then like you're divining truth through that. So like what's effectually what's the real difference?
I guess it just changes the amount of weight you put on it. I mean, does it carry more significance to you if you think it's a higher power speaking to you rather than just your own inner musings or thoughts?
Well, I think, I don't know, how I feel like I am like attuned to like the universe and stuff. Like if you're not like submersed in a lot of other things that can control your thought, you kind of move in a way that the world is going, the universe is going. That's kind of like an intuitive way to like live your life, It's like, I don't know.
Wait, who's talking?
She.
Oh, okay. Wait, who was talking before?
That was Jewel. Something I was trying to wrap my head around, like when I was reading stuff about like dual relationship or stuff like that, like I sort of understood I understood like as far as like let's say for NI and SE, like that sort of dual interaction going on there. I understood like what SE was looking for. I mean, what NI was looking for in SE, and like SE is like, pulling you into the moment more, you're getting to interact with the real world more, stuff like that. It's like I sort of comprehended that, but then I sort of struggle to see what it is that I could possibly be offering to,
Yeah.
And I was just having this thought right now that at least part of it, like I know there's a lot of talking about being able to see future possibilities or, potentials or things like that. And maybe that's part of it, but also I just had the thought in my head that I have a tendency, or at least a desire, to sort of dive deep with just crazy out there shit, and so to have somebody to counterbalance that acts as a more grounding influence, I think is important.
You maybe need like, I don't know. Yeah. Okay, I was thinking of something that might continue.
So, I kind of spaced through some of that, not gonna lie, but maybe the gist of what you said was like your knowledge helps ground you, or
no,
no?
my knowledge of duality is making more sense
Okay.
because I think there's when you have a tendency or a desire to dive deep on things,
Right.
it can seem scary, especially if you don't have somebody or people in your life that have a grounding influence.
Maybe you could get like an any dump to get you out of that, and then be like, "Come on, let's go do something or something."
No. Probably
What?
not
Why?
any.
Why? Why?
It's more intangible, which basically translates to me saying no. But you're wrong. You're wrong, but I can't explain to you why you're wrong. Okay?
I think I kind of understand what you were like. The beginning of that, I feel like I understand, because I feel like, so supposedly the duality would be the ISFJ, ENTP, and there's a lot of ENTPs in here, and I see it from the perspective of like NE. That's exciting. That's fun. They're bringing something like to the table that, like, why wouldn't you want to enjoy that? And then you look at your own. You're like SI. Okay, that seems like so boring in comparison. You're kind of like, what would I really be bringing to the table? So I guess maybe you're viewing your NI that way, kind of like, because it's an introverted function, you're like, how am I really giving that to someone? What would I really be,
Yeah.
That was very nicely described. I don't fully understand the depth of it, but I think it's beautiful. But usually I
Rule
read
is always really concise with her explanations. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I just wanted to say that.
Nah, you're good. I don't know. I guess the thing is that I read online that INFJs and ENFPs are supposed to be like really good couples, but I don't know. Maybe because they get each other because they're each other's shadow.
ENFPs I've met, I'm like, oh yeah, you're cool. Just don't be cool around me.
Oh.
I don't want to make it sound like super mean like that, but maybe it's because I in particular, like, I view myself as like, I have the tendency to deep dive, as I said, and so it's like I have a vested concern with having somebody who exerts enough of a grounding influence on me. And it's like, if I'm like, I have a tendency and a desire to get crazy with shit, and I don't want somebody else who, might possibly get crazy with me, because then we're both, lost at sea, fucked.
Yeah, you want someone who's going to hang out like more towards the surface and be like, hey, come up here for a little bit, okay? You're getting a little too far down there, you know?
I feel like an ESTP might have their own level of crazy, but then if an INFJ really taps into their level of crazy, then the ESTP is like shocked out of it, and they're like, you know what? No, never mind. We'll just go to the park. No, that's fine.
I think that would be a good couple, though. I think that would be good because they would be duals, and maybe they'd get each other in a weird way.
Whatever happened to the wasn't she German, the ESTP girl that used to come in?
Oh, Laylee?
Danish. Yeah.
Oh, Danish. Oh, I haven't seen her in a long time.
Yeah, she doesn't come around. I haven't seen her on here particularly. We talk on Facebook, but I haven't seen her on here.
Did you feel like it was easy to form like some sort of friendship with her, or given the
She, I don't know. I am not convinced that in terms of Enneagram that she has a 4-fix. I think I might get along better with somebody who had a forfix. Maybe it's not entirely that, but
Mhm.
I think as far as the NI stuff goes, I'd have to get to know her better, and unfortunately, I can't really. I don't get the sense I could do that to the extent that I would want to via text.
Yeah, that makes
Mhm.
If I were to do that, I'd want somebody in a physical proximity. That way, they could feel my crazy. It just wouldn't be sort of observed. But no, it's. I feel like I have dominant NI. That's crazy enough. Then I got a forfix. That's crazy too. Throw Enneagram 9 in there. That's already concerned with archetype and whatnot, and is sort of insular in some ways. And it's like, I don't know. You just start mixing different elements together, and I'm not for public consumption. I'm definitely a niche. I'm definitely a niche product. So I gotta be more selective with
That's funny.
who I get involved with, at least romantically.
What type would be good for an ENFP? Because it kind of seems like none are at the moment.
Apparently,
ISTJ?
ISTJs are the dual. How has an ISTJ girlfriend?
Yeah, he does. I remember him talking about that.
So kind of like Jewel with the SI Dom, except instead of preferring FE and TI, they prefer TE and FI.
Because see, my uncle actually typed as an ISTJ, and it was like he's dating an ENFP, and it's like, I don't know, like ISTJs seem annoying to me because it's like they have all the functions that I don't have, and sometimes they can be harsh and kind of bossy, and it's like, dude, I know you're working with logic, but do you have to be so rude about it? Like, I don't know. Feel like shit.
Yeah, it depends on
I've seen
the.
for whatever. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Okay.
No, both of you continue.
ENFPs seem to get like really easily get like negative reactions out of TE users. It seems. In my own personal experience of seeing my brother interact with my sister and my sister interact with her husband, and it's interesting the things that she says. Maybe because she lacks TI, so she's constantly seeking out information from other people as opposed to like doing the work herself. So she just basically repeats things that she's learned or from people or whatever, and they're like, "What the fuck are you talking about? Where did you even get that? Why are you saying that?" And like for whatever reason, they just freak out about it. I'm like, I don't understand what's going on.
The ESTP girl I was talking about lately, she has two roommates that are an INTJ dude and an ENFP girl that are a couple. So just sort of backing up what Tay was saying there.
ISTJ,
No, INTJ with ENFP.
INTJ.
Not exactly dual, but they do share the kind of be like INFJ and ENTP. It's like not totally off. But, I don't know. I sort of feel like rather than just wanting to hook up with an SE Dom necessarily. I mean, I know I talked about the grounding thing, but I almost feel like more so than NI seeking, I like FI polar, but that might depend on the people I interact with. I've met a lot more ENTPs than I have ESFPs, so I don't think I have good enough idea of what ESFPs are like.
I'm sorry.
Did you guys see that couple, the INTJ ENFP couple that was on YouTube? They took their page down, but it was funny because I knew an ENFP guy who was like, "This is the kind of love I want. I keep like they just look so magical and happy together." I was like, "How long have they been together for?" They probably haven't been together that long. She interrupts him too much when he tries to talk. This isn't going to last long. And then like a couple weeks later, they're taking their YouTube channel down.
Oh no.
It couldn't. Maybe they're still together and they just decided that they didn't want to be exposed to the public anymore. But I don't know.
Janelle's just sitting there like, don't you hate it whenever your NI sees disaster? You're like, I live in a state of perpetual darkness. Yeah.
I also heard that. Can I change the topic, please?
Yeah.
Well, I want to make sure that
No,
everyone.
no, you fucking can't.
Okay, I won't.
What type do you guys think Amy Winehouse is? An a pair. As a pair.
Like, I don't know, I guess it's just weird that somebody would give her polar FI. It's like, have you heard her music? Have you seen her interviews? Like,
Yeah.
she's got a lot of feels.
She wasn't. Am I right about that? Okay, let's look at it.
What topic are you bringing up, Chloe?
I was gonna look something up. Oh yeah.
There are 4 people on camp. Tay. It's me, it is Zach, it is Chloe, and it is Bibsy.
Oh, okay. That's what I needed to know.
Is it just your headphones, or is that your choker? Oh.
Is that a belt?
Belt.
What is that? Ha ha ha.
You know, Janelle, quit hating on people, okay, Jen?
Oh, now I remember.
Yeah, that is something I discovered, is that there's more than a few ESTP porn stars. I thought that was funny.
That seems to be a general thing I've noticed amongst them. They're very physical. Let's get physical.
Okay.
Oh my god, are you gonna type that?
It was at the same time too. I love that. Okay, so I heard that like INFJs tend to attract narcissists. Is that true?
I was talking about that earlier. I was talking about that earlier.
Why is that?
We're crazy, they're crazy.
I feel like sometimes we think that we are capable of getting close to people that we shouldn't. We're like, yeah, it's cool, we got this. I got this. Like, stop warning me about this. I'm cool.
Uh-huh.
I'll be good. And then next thing you know, you're like sucked into this like bad situation.
Do you see like warning signs beforehand and you just feel like you can kind of overcome it, or is it more of like a choosing not to see what's there? Or
now I'm better at reading. Before I was just naive and didn't think that people really were that selfish, or like that they didn't consider other people's feelings that much. I just didn't. I couldn't believe it. Now I know. And I know the signs, and I know what things look like initially that will have a good probability of not looking very good down the road. So, yeah, but before it was, I just didn't know what to look for. Now I have a better idea of what to look for.
Yeah, I kind of can relate to that actually, because it's like, well, I can just really relate to that. So yeah. I don't know. It's like